Hello everyone, happy Friday. Yeah, it's been a little while since I did a Game Jam stream, but we have some interesting stuff to work on today. So the plan is to start making some pixel art for this game, and hopefully make it look passable. So let's see what we can do here for that. So, I guess the main thing we need to figure out is how big we need to actually make this, how big we should have the screen size, because I think that's kind of important, and it'll kind of set the scale for everything, and then from there we can figure out how big we should kind of make things. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of get a basic idea of where I think, or how many things we should need first, and then we can start making some pixel art. So just getting like a general layout of things, I think, is going to be best for right now. All right. So the nice thing about these is it kind of snaps to a grid. So we just gotta kind of work with that essentially. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line these up to about where they should probably be based on the actually, let me get that diagram. Where's the okay, so let me I'm not sure if I think this should be... Yeah, okay. So this is the diagram that we have right now. So we need space over on the left-hand side for, for where we're starting with the dishes. And then we're going to need slots for the 3 different sinks and up at the top, and then some smaller stuff over on the side. Hey Frost Silent, how's it going? Yeah, so we're gonna need to figure out how much we're going to have for each of these spots to kind of plan things out. Alrighty. I'm doing pretty good, thanks for asking. It's been a long week though, so it's kind of nice to spend some time relaxing, working on Game Jam stuff. Alrighty, so we should probably have 2 rows for each of these things. I'm kind of new to Unity as well, so, yeah, it's a learning process, basically. I mean, it took me a long time just to figure out how to kind of get the drag and drop stuff working, for this game. You're following a tutorial to get to know what Unity does? That's a good idea. Oh, thank you for the follow, Frost Silent. It is much appreciated. It's also good to know that my chatbot is working. Yeah, I think Unity's kind of nice, but I think that you really have to follow like a tutorial to start really, utilizing it effectively. Oh wow, 2 back-to-back. Thank you, Looking Glass Airwaves, for the follow. It's much appreciated. Yeah, lurkers are recommended. You're more than welcome to stay in the background, just kind of watching. It's what I do all the time on other people's streams. Okay, so I think 12 seems like a good number to have for each of these sinks. Whoops. My rectangle was vibrating, so let me just put that on Do Not Disturb. Having lots of problems. Yeah, like I said, Unity's kind of it's kind of difficult to learn when you're starting to make it. So, like I have some programming background and stuff, but it's just kind of learning how everything works is kind of the tough part for me personally. So, the way I like to see it is if you know kind of what you want to do, and you kind of have a general idea of the path you want to take to do that sort of thing, there's probably someone who's figured out at least part of what you need. So it's very useful to kind of look and find different resources online to see if there's any people that you that you can find that that have that sort of problem. Maybe not 100% fixed, but having it at least kind of fixed can be very useful. I don't want to select the camera here, so I guess I'll just... Oh, I can just kind of select these. Let's see where this should be kind of in relation here. Now, I guess actually what we should do is get some of this stuff over here as well, because we got to have the spot for the dirty dishes too. Okay, so that's going to be left-hand side. I think we'll need to make this a little bigger. So let's... I'm just taking a quick look at that diagram again. Alright, so we kind of want... Maybe we'll do 4 more below here. Let's see where that kind of brings us. Alright, so when we're having... game over window I set up keeps popping up whenever I start the game, and I did the tutorial exactly like it. Something that, if I'm following a tutorial and I'm having issues, something that helps me is kind of almost like watching it over again and seeing if I followed every step exactly. Because sometimes if you'd miss like one small thing, it can mess up a lot of different things. So it's... I mean, the most I can recommend is just kind of looking back to see if there's anything you might have inadvertently missed. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, he skips over some parts? Oh, that kind of stinks. Especially if you're like a beginner. Yeah, you gotta pause the video when you're doing tutorials if it goes too fast. Thank you. It's kind of allergy season. A lot of tree pollen out. Of course, I'm in inside, so that doesn't excuse me from that. But, anyways, I think, should I be having this in a new window? The game the kind of like the game view there. I wonder if there's a way to kind of lock the game view. So that'd be kind of, well, maybe we won't do that for now. We'll just kind of leave that there. Alright, so we have that, and then we need some, we need this space for the drying rack stuff. If you guys have any questions, by the way, of like what the heck I'm actually doing, feel free to ask. Oops. Oh, I guess I did copy that. Alright, so how much space do we actually want? Alright, let me know how that goes, Frost Silent. Alright. Maybe just one layer, kind of like this or something. Maybe something like that. Well, I think this is lining up pretty well with the diagram I have. And then we can have some space over on the right-hand side as well. So maybe something like, maybe I'll just copy this for the moment. So that's going to be kind of like, well, I guess. So how far should that's gonna be a little wider there. So we'll say that that's kind of, this sort of space is going to be more for like the list of completed items. There's going to be some space up here for you know, for putting it away. And then we'll have some space down here as well. So I think, or maybe this could be a little, well, I guess it depends. So maybe we'll make this a little, the camera a little bigger. How do we do that though? Oh, okay. There we go. All right, so if we wanted to kind of get this to, all right, just wanted to move it. Let's make our X position, well, hold on, maybe we'll just To make it a little easier, we'll just select all these. Kind of line it up here with where we need it to be. That's a little tight. We'll leave it like that for now. Maybe there's a way we can fix the screen resolution, but I think that's a good, it's good for the moment. And let's make... So this is where the, what am I trying to say? This is going to be where some of the requests are going to come in. So maybe we'll have a couple of items for like, hey, we need these things. And then we have little spaces for each of these. Okay, I think this is good for just getting the layout for right now. So let's figure out how we can get the sprite editor to work here. So maybe we'll create new hoping there'd be new sprite. What's a sprite atlas? Okay, I don't think that's what we want. Or do we? Hang on, I'm gonna try and figure out what what a sprite atlas actually is. I'm thinking we might not want to use that. So let's get rid of that. And I never actually used that for anything, so let's clean this up a little bit. Alright, so I think what we have to do is we do have to create like a new sprite, like a square or something, and then kind of use that as a jumping off point to make a new sprite from there. Let's save this just to be safe. Alright, so let's make a new sprite, a new square. And oh, actually, before we do that, let's figure out what we need. So getting the about the right size is, you know, good, but we also want to figure out what we actually need to do. So let's just make a list here of the sprites we're gonna need. So for right now, I think it's important that we just get like the basics. So we can always do more sprite work later. So I know like having this, like the background is gonna take a while. So let's say we're going to need, we need to have some for each dish. So we need, for each dish, we need a dirty sprite. We need it to be washed, rinsed, and sanitized, and then we need it to be dry or clean. So that's 5, unless we can, you know, think about it a little more. Oh, and we also need it's kind of a lot. So we need icon and zoomed in versions of each. So we need it kind of zoomed in and when it's just an icon. So I think for right now we're just going to work on the icons because that's what's going to be most important right now. Well, okay, maybe we don't need the sanitized sprite, because what I'm thinking is we have the dirty sprite, which is just going to be kind of a bunch of gunk on it. Then we can have it washed, where it's kind of sudsy. Then we can have it rinsed, where it's like wet, but maybe not like shiny clean. And then we could have the dry or clean sprite for when it's like nice and shiny and looking good. So I think we can do with 4, and then for each thing we want to do, we'll have the like the zoomed in version and the icon. Actually, maybe we can even shortcut that, because maybe what we can do is just do a larger version of it and then just a smaller version for the could do a smaller version for the actual icon, or just like have it be regular size and then shrink it by maybe a factor of 2 or something. That's a good way to kind of shortcut that sort of work. So maybe we'll kind of do that. So yeah, we know what we're gonna do there. All right, so we can say the types of dishes. So this will be good for getting a good handle of what we're going to need the different tools for. So like for example, if I can just kind of bring that there, if we kind of look at the diagram we have here, so we have the kind of like the light scrubber, the heavy scrubber, steel wool, and the hose. So we want to make sure that, well, we're going to have to use icons for those, I guess, as well, but I'll write them in a sec. So that's going to be, we need some that we're going to be using the different types of scrubbers for. So maybe we'll have the dish, and then we'll have the scrub type, and then we could have, I guess, difficulty. So how difficult it actually is to scrub it off and like to do the work, because different, I figure like the higher the difficulty, the longer it's gonna take to actually get them done. So we'll say a difficulty could be, we need a good scale, so maybe 1 to 5, and it's gonna scale from there. So all right, yeah, so let me minimize that. It kind of stinks that you know, I got to sort out the stuff with Streamlabs OBS because I'd really like to just capture my screen, but for some reason, and I think it has to do with like the way I'm recording this stuff, it just kind of tanks the frame rate from like 60 FPS to like 15 for reasons I don't really know for 100% certain. All right, so let's come up with a list of dishes. So we could have a fork, we could have a spoon, we could have knife, we could have glass, we could have small plate, large plate, we could have a bowl. What else? Just trying to think of my own dishwasher. Spatula. We could have what other things could we have? Found a solution, but now it doesn't appear when you die. I think that's progress. So, yeah, it can be tough kind of finding bugs in your programs. So, maybe now I don't know what exactly what game or something you're working on with Unity, but sometimes when you have something that's like triggering it, something to happen, you want to make sure that you have like a reference to the different components. Oh, you're making Flappy Bird. Okay. So why don't you look at the components? I mean, again, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but maybe you could try looking at the components that you have for your different objects and seeing if you have all the references set up correctly. Okay, yeah. Alright, so, yeah, if your code could be done correctly, but if you don't have the reference to, or if you don't have something telling the object, hey, show the game over screen now, that might be an issue there. But again, I'm just spitballing, so yeah, do keep me updated to see if you find a solution there. Alright, so what other things could we do? We need some tougher stuff. So let's have back to debugging. Yep, that's gonna be doing a lot of that with programming, that's for sure. Even people who are really good at programming need to debug. So let's do pot. Maybe we'll have small pot, large pot. So we need pots and pans. What else do we need? We could have... Could have a mug too. All right, so for now, let's just work with this stuff and kind of classify it. So for forks and spoons, we could say, all right, so we either want light, heavy, or steel wool. So let's say for forks and spoons, they can be up to heavy. And knives too. Glass will want to be light. Mug could be, yeah, we could do heavy. Small plate, heavy. For the bowls. Maybe we could have a soup bowl. And we could have a salad bowl. That's kind of like wicker. So for the soup bowl we can do heavy, but for the salad bowl it would have to be light. Because if it was wicker, you don't want to scrub that with a, something kind of rough. So we'll say the pots. So that's not how you spell steel. But we'll just do that for short. All right, so we need a couple of, just kind of make that a little bigger. We need a couple of more ones for the light category, I guess. I don't want to do the difficulty just yet because I want to make sure that it's kind of distributed okay. What other things, what other types of dishes could we have? Maybe like a steak knife? Because you wanna... Because let's say you had a steak knife and it had a really nice but delicate handle. You'd want to make sure that it's not damaged. Well, no, that doesn't really make too much sense there. That would just kind of go in the category for knife too. Because we only have 2 for light. And we have a lot for heavy, and then some for the steel. We need some more for the light category. Maybe we could have a skillet. Because I know some restaurants have, they have like meals that they cook in skillets and then they just bring the hot skillet to your table. What else? What else could we have here? Well, maybe we could have a small glass and a large glass. And then maybe a wine glass. That kind of spreads it out a little bit. Alright, I think that's kind of good. So how many do we have for... We have a decent amount for light, heavy, and steel. So I think now we can kind of think about the difficulty for each of these. So the ones that are 1s should be the easiest to clean. So we'll say like the silverware should be pretty easy. We'll say maybe 2s for the, well, okay, maybe a 3 for the large glass, and 2 for those. For the mug, could be a 2. All right, so let's think about the larger end. So this large pan's definitely got to be a 5. Large pot's going to be a 5. So maybe 4 and 4. All right, and then maybe 3, 4, and then soup bowl. That's not very difficult. We'll say 2. Spatula, we'll say there might be some gunk on there. So either a 2 or a 3. I don't have many 3s actually. So the silverware should definitely be the easiest. Then we gotta think about if these are like accurate. So it's like the 1s, these are all the 1s. The 2s are the small glass, the wine glass, the mug, soup bowl and salad bowl. Are those all about the same? Like in difficulty? Well, maybe the small glass can be a 1. Large glass can be a 2. I think that's a little better. So like with these 3, they're kind of in 2 for different reasons. So the large glass is larger, the wine glass has an odd surface area, so you could justify, oh, that takes a little longer. And the mug's got the handle you gotta wash. And the soup bowl and salad bowl, okay. And then for the 3s, don't have that many. We have small plate, a spatula. What else could we possibly put in there? Alright. Alright, well maybe we could just do 1 to 4 for difficulty. So we'll just kind of shift these down a little bit. Alright, so would this be kind of accurate if we're only going up to 4? I think that's okay. Alright, so how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, so that means we will need a lot of sprites. Alright, but let's get to work. Maybe we can get some of these done. Okay, so let's get back to Unity. And let's get Notepad kind of taken out there. Alright, so let's... So that's 32. We want that to be kind of consistent. Actually, we'll even maybe the best way to do this is just we'll take this and we'll duplicate it. Can we not just duplicate it? Alright, well, that's okay. Create. Alright, so we'll just change these to be the same settings as the other ones. What is... Okay, so we did... Alright, so I think this is pretty close. Let's go to the sprite editor. Alright, so let me get the sprite editor thing rolling. So we'll say Unity that's not what I want. Is this even gonna... So that's just Unity. Oh, there it is. I think I found it. Nope, that is the internet. Oh, I think I see the issue. It's because it's not really a window. It's just a piece in Unity. Alright, so how do I fix this? Alright, well... I want to make sure it's a, you know, the right size, but I'm not sure why I can't kind of do that on here. Maybe it's something I can edit here. Oh, okay. We got some advanced settings. Hi, Ludicrous Devil. How's it going? I'm just trying to figure out how the sprite editor in Unity works. I think I might have to try a different program, actually, which won't be a bad thing. I'm trying to make some sprites from scratch. Yeah, I think that's what we might have to do, actually. Alright, so time for plan B. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to work with Piskel, which is an online program for creating pixel art. So let me I'll put that there, and should have, where is it? There it is. Alright, and then we'll just have to fix that. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah, we'll leave that there. Okay, so we need to create, actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do that, and we will have our list of things we need to do, and I will put that over here. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you for that. Oops. Yeah, you're right. Some people can be jerks, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I'll have to kind of perhaps edit that later. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a game for the My First Game Jam, because it's my first game jam. Sort of. And the idea that I'm going with is I want to try and make a, not really a dishwashing simulator, but like kind of like a time management game where you're trying to get as much of the as much of your dishes done as you can within the specified time. So that's kind of the plan. And so what I'm trying to do is like, actually let me pull up the little diagram I have. And we'll kind of do that. So the idea is that you're kind of working to... You have this area on the left that has all the dishes that need to be washed. And then you have this first area, kind of like the 3-sink system that they tend to have in a bunch of places. And you have some spots to wash the dishes. Each of these gray boxes is like a slot that you'll have your some item in there, like a cup or a plate or something. And you will have, once you have the dirty dishes, you have to drag them over to here, that first spot, wash them, bring them to the second sink to rinse them off, third sink to sanitize, and then kind of put them up on the drying rack. And then once they're finished drying, you put them away, and you get points based on how long it took you to do that and how good of a job you did. So that's kind of like the basic idea. And so I think that it'll be... My thought is that it'll be kind of fun, if only because you're not going to be physically washing dishes. It's just for a game, essentially. So I'm trying to get different components kind of straightened out for that. So right now I'm kind of focusing on trying to get the pixel art straightened out. So let's let's start working on some of this, I think. So we don't really need any of that sort of stuff. We don't need any of the frames per second there. And if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Though I am just trying to get the basics down for the game first. So I did already make a drag and drop system, which is kind of cool. So the only thing, before I really kind of expand upon that, I want to make sure I have different, different items to actually drag and drop into the right places. So let's get some of these kind of straightened out. So maybe we'll just do the basics for each. We won't worry about the kind of... We'll just do the kind of like the rinsed version, I want to say. Kind of like the middle ground of trying to get the different components. So what do we want? I guess we want like a black outline. So I'm not the best at pixel art, so this should be kind of interesting. There's probably going to be some trial and error here. So maybe we'll just do... So maybe now we can get a line going. So let's get the fork finished. And we'll have... Oops. Okay. I don't know if that looks very good. Oop, let me fix something real quick. Just gotta fix the music. All right. So let's take a look at what can we do to kind of fix this up. It's this middle area that's kind of bugging me a bit. Maybe we could... Nah, that just kind of looks blocky. kind of like how it was before, in like, not like that, but kind of like that. How does this look kind of zoomed out? Well, it's not bad for an outline, so maybe we'll do kind of like that color or something. And then we could have darker color for underneath. Something like that, maybe? Maybe even a lighter color for... Oops. I don't know how I feel about this. I think this is bugging me because it doesn't have like the curve that it should have. So maybe we'll just kind of get rid of this part for now. We'll kind of work on that. Alright, so maybe something like that. Ooh, I don't think this is going as well as I'd hoped here. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could do something like this. Maybe something like that. It's still not looking great though. Yeah, this isn't... Let's try going back a little bit. So that's what I kind of had before. Maybe what we can do something like... No, I haven't tried GIMP before. I've heard of it though. I haven't really used it though. This is how it was before. Oops. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. Yeah, maybe I might have to look into GIMP just to, you know, maybe get a fresh perspective on these types of programs. So what happens if we were to just take this... draw it straight instead of at an angle and then rotate it. That might be interesting. Yeah, maybe it's just the perspective that's kind of messing me up here. Because it's kind of weird to kind of draw at that sort of angle for an object like this. Alright, I was gonna delete that. Let me, I'm gonna look up some stuff on GIMP for a moment. Yeah, I think I'll have to look into GIMP, but maybe for another project. I think for now, just because I'm using Pisco, it'd probably be best to work with what I already kind of know. So, all right, so let's try drawing it at a different angle and seeing if that makes it a little bit easier to work with. Oops. I could just use the line tool. Maybe we'll just do... this. Maybe make it a little longer here. And then we will... Oh, we lost all the colors. Oh, well, actually, no, we didn't. I guess it's just keeping a log of the current colors. Alright. And let's try... something like that. Maybe actually you can do that sort of thing. What happens? Oh, excuse me. All right, let's see. Nope. Maybe... Nah, I think it looked good how it was before. And then maybe just... something like that. Yeah, I think that's good. So now we just gotta kind of make sure it's lined up how we need it to be. Oops. Oh, we need to do shift and grab. Okay. So this is... that's 9 pixels wide. So I guess the first thing we can do is just... because we want to get it kind of centered. So that's 11. That's 11 too. That shouldn't be right. How big is this sprite? Yeah, it's 32 by 32. Yeah, thank you, Ludicrous Devil. I don't want to spend too much time just on this sort of thing, just because it's I overthink these types of things way too much. You know, I think that's good enough. That's centered. All right, so let's do. So let's just do the basics for each of these. And what I think what we want to try and do is, we'll just do like each frame is its own, different piece. All right, so let's. So we don't want a new layer, we want another... Oh, we'll just click the add new frame button. Oh, actually we should just duplicate that. And then all we'll have to do is kind of make this into a spoon. Yo, thank you for this, for the follow, Ludicrous Devil. It's much appreciated. I think this is a new record, actually. 3 follows in one night. That's awesome. We're so close to that follower goal. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, because normally I don't really do game dev stuff like this. But maybe I'll have to do more of it in the future, because I'm having fun, and I guess you guys are too. So once again, thanks a bunch for that follow. I think that's pretty good. Now we can just fill in the blanks. Maybe, because I want to try and show that there's more kind of curve to it. It kind of looks flat, honestly. I don't know if I like, oh, maybe... No. Nope. Just kind of zoom out here. I mean, you can kind of tell it's a spoon, but that's not really what I want to go for. Kinda? What do you guys think? Is this a decent spoon? Or do I need to work on that a little more? Because this is going to get scaled up too, so it might look maybe that big. I think that looks okay. The limited color palette kind of makes it a bit difficult to kind of work with. Actually, actually... So that's on the... It's gonna look pretty small, but... I think that's gonna be okay. Alright, so I think that's good enough. Let's try working on next item. Okay, good. I thought I lined them up so that it's kind of about where we should have. So let's work on the knife. So we're just gonna slice this off. Okay, and we will just kind of extend this up. Maybe we'll drop this down a little more because they tend to be kind of large. Oops. Okay, so let's do... Alright, maybe we'll do something like this. Well, actually, you know what, maybe we'll just make it a... kind of like a butter knife. Because, you know, you gotta be safe when washing dishes. Kind of looks a bit too wide. Seems odd. So maybe what we'll do that looks a little better. Okay, so what we'll do here, try and recenter this. So that's 12 there, and that's 13 there. I think that should be good. Okay. So let's add another item. So we're gonna have the glass. Let's see. So we want the small glass and a large glass. Let's cheat a little and use the circle tool. Maybe something like that. That looks pretty good. Let's change the color a little bit. So let's kind of do something like this. And we'll just oh, that's a little brighter than I thought it would be, actually. Oh no, undo that. Can we gotta be able to make this transparent a little bit. That's not really what we want there. Oh, I don't remember what that was at. We kind of want it to be a little... like almost whitish gray. Actually, we can use this other color as well. For some of like the darker areas. Maybe just something like so this would be visible through the glass, so we'll put that kind of like that. That looks about centered. So it's 8 and 7. 6 and 6. Okay, yeah, that's looking pretty good there. I really want to make sure it's like, what is this? I don't think I want the dithering tool. Oh wait, maybe... Maybe what we should... Oh, okay. There's the thing we want. So let's say we'll make a new layer on top of this one. And we will just... Oh, actually, no. Nope, no. I know what to do. So let's take this, and we will make it even lighter. Maybe? This seems like the opposite of what I want. Maybe we'll make... Oh, you know what? We're not really doing the black outline here. Maybe I should be doing that with this. So either way, we want to kind of make it transparent. This is not looking so hot right now. So maybe let's try doing this again from scratch. Oops. We'll just outline these. And this time we will have to kind of mess a little bit with the transparencies. Okay. So this layer we're going to have opacity 1, and then we'll do layer 2 with some of this stuff. Alright, so we want a little bit of a darker color for the bottom. We'll also make this layer a little transparent. Do we want an even darker shade? So maybe something like that, perhaps? Maybe what happens if we actually just do kind of like that, actually. Except maybe and then maybe we'll do I think that looks pretty good, all things considered. I'd say that's good for now. And then we'll do the large glass. Oh, I see. Okay. So we will add... we will duplicate. Oh good, it copied that too. So all we're gonna do here is just kind of take this part and move that down. And move that up. And then for layer 2, we're going to do the same thing. fill in the blanks. Alright, that's pretty good to me. Just gotta keep in mind, it's just gotta be functional. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so let's kinda... Can I name these? What happens if I merge it with the layer below? Oh no, I don't think that's what I want. Because the alpha values emerge together. That is not something I want. Okay. So how many did we say we had? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Because it's getting a little late. And I don't want to stay up too late doing this stuff. That'll just make tomorrow a lot harder to get through and maybe make it a little bit tougher to work on some of this stuff later. So I think what we're gonna do is to export it. Let's do so I'm going to save this to my computer. There's the thing I want. Okay. So we will save this as what would be a good thing to save it as? Dishes. And what we'll also do I think we can just do this as sprite sheet layout. So we will save this as alright, and before we end things off, I want to make sure that we can look at this a little bit, you know, see how it looks. It's not bad. Okay. actually, I think what we'll do, kind of save it like this instead. Okay. So let me show you guys what these kind of look like. And I also saved the .piskel file because I just really want to say pixel instead of piskel. I guess that's kind of why they had the name there. Anyways, so let me get a... hold up a sec. Yeah, okay, so let me just add a quick thing so that you guys can take a look. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So this is what it looks like after being exported. So not too bad. So that's gonna have to use that same kind of transparency technique. It kind of merged the layers together, which is what I was expecting. I don't know if, you know, that's... Yeah, I don't know if it's going to keep the transparency or not. I guess we'll have to see. But I think this is pretty good. Alrighty, so I think that's this is going to be a good point to kind of end things off for the night. So thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you guys also for all the follows. It really helps me out. It keeps me motivated to do this stuff. And it helps me think about trying new stuff like this. So I kind of just did this on a whim last week. So I think I might try and do more stuff like this more often. Alrighty, but on that sort of note, I think, like I said, we're going to be kind of wrapping things up. The plan is to stream tomorrow evening, maybe a little bit earlier than when I started tonight. We'll have to see. But I should be finishing up, or I'm going to try and finish up the pixel art for the items tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, hopefully I will see you guys then. But even if I don't, I hope you have a wonderful evening or morning or whatever time of day it is where you're at. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.